Hi everyone. So this is a particularly difficult week for me as my uncle Noel passed away earlier this week. He was 85. He had been battling dementia over the last few years in nursing care, and he had passed away. And I thought I would do a little video and just to have a little bit of a chat about him, and thought I would dress up. We're doing a private cremation, so we're not going to be doing a funeral. So I thought I would, um, you know, say a few words about him and all that sort of thing. So and yeah, I guess I got the news and I felt pretty down for the next few days, not too sure, how to cope with this. And I guess this is kind of the biggest loss since mum, 26 years ago, which is a long time. And, he was sort of my father figure, in terms of how he looked after me during, we sort of met when I was a late teenager, and he was the reason why I moved down to Canberra to live with him and Auntie Pat. And yeah, he was just a really he was just a really good person. He was, academic. He was into writings, and I was a writer, so he sort of helped edit one of my books, as you probably see the image on the thumbnail. That was him um, doing the book launch for Seasons of the Moon. I've still got a few old copies of it, and so yeah. So he edited the book, and a couple other people did too, because I make bad spelling mistakes, and my autism and ADHD makes my stories sound a little bit weird, but it takes a few edits to make it sense. And yeah, he sort of looked after me during my teenager years, during year 11 and 12 and college. And yeah, so yeah, just sort of the impact that he's had on my life has been quite large, in terms of my creative works. And, me personally, it sort of, felt like I kind of felt like I felt met a family, the member where I'm like, well, hang on, I might not be secretly adopted after all, in terms of knowing someone who's a little bit like yourself in a way. But he had a long, good life. He served in the army with the Survey Corps, and he did teaching and things like that. He was good with his maths. I was not. I did not inherit those genes from him or my grandfather, who's my on my mother's side. And yeah, he helped me out with schooling and all sorts of things. And, you know, just remembering going, yeah, we used to like going to the computer fair, which for you young kids, um, before the internet, you can just buy things online. You can go to a marketplace that had computer parts, and would go around, and that's how I got my own um, uh, really good, nice computer that helped me out with studies and, of course, writing a lot on it. Writing a couple books of that. And yeah, just fun little things we would do like that. Watch the telly together, or just, having dinner meals and, catching up with them over the years. And yeah, just thinking back of all the different memories that, we had together, um, which is difficult because it feels like, I guess the loss of a parent or parental figure it's a little bit different when you're an older adult. It's a lot more profound when you're young. When I lost mum, but it still feels like a big um part of your life is just sort of, one of your foundation rocks have sort of disappeared, and you feel a little more, I guess, a bit alone in the world now, because like now I'm the older generation. I'm supposed to um know all the answers now that he's gone. And I think I've learned about being an adult, um, that I think we're just making it up. I think we're just making things up as we go along, and we hope we're making the best choices in life. And, he made a lot of good choices. And yeah, it's just tough. But I do have his mug here, which is the Hi, the left-hander. It's fun to watch them write. So I've still got something from him. I just thought I would hop on and just say a few things. Felt like some sort of acknowledgement of his life should be, you know, put to video. That's how I do things. And I don't know what else to really say or do about this. It's just, um, yeah, I think I will probably feel a bit lost and a bit, I don't know, a bit dazed from all this for a while to come. So it's just really hard. It's just, especially when I'm probably not as close to the rest of the family. I think over the years you've watched me online, you probably know that it's my relationship with the rest of the family is either not so great or kind of non-existent. And unfortunately, we tend to contact each other more when someone passes away. I guess we are, maybe we're one of those families, I don't know. But maybe, you know, keeping in contact with them a bit more often would be nice, and having some sort of connection there. But yeah, I can't really think of much else to say about Noel. I think there'll be, um, he had probably, I guess, one of the biggest impacts on me in life. So, and got to live in Canberra, meet all these lovely friends and people that I have down here. And because it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have all this. So, in an indirect way, he's sort of, changed my life for the better. So I think that's going to be it for me. But I just thought I would say a few little words and see how things go. So that's it for me, and I shall see you next time.